We got banned.
We did.
Yeah, literally
Ruthlessly.
our subreddit that had 8,000 people, 8,000 beautiful people in it. Gorgeous, beautiful.
It's gone.
It's gone. They said we had unmoderated content.
Those losers.
And it was, honestly, it was turning into a really beautiful place because everyone from our community would submit stories on there and we would read them on the show.
That's where we were getting so much of our source material.
Yeah. But it died. It's gone. It's dead. And we went to Reddit and we're like, hey, can we reinstate this somehow? We tried to have like a thing for reapproval.
And what did they say, Sam?
They said no.
It's
kind of disappointing. Like really, it's disappointing.
It sucks.
Because it was a cool community and it was growing.
But is there any hope for us?
There is hope. So with the rebrand, we created r/OK storytime, the thing that hopefully will rise from the ashes.
That's
and
right.
I know the OK fam goes kind of crazy. So we're trying to get to like 1,000 people.
That's right. But if everyone watching this right now in the first 24 hours joined, that'd be 10,000 people.
10,000 people.
Easy, in 24 hours.
So quick.
Like
a snap of the fingers.
Yes.
So if you go to the description right now, there is a link to r/OK storytime. Join the subreddit. Maybe we can turn these lemons into lemonade and reignite our love and passion for our subreddit.
From the ashes, we will rise. Okay,
we
fam.
ride at dawn. So go click that link. We're going to do a regular episode in like a few moments, but take the time.
Come on.
Click the link. We want to hear stories from you guys. So it's the best way to hear those stories. So go do it right now.
Love you.
Don't let this ban be in vain.
That's right.
All right, let's get into the episode.
Would I be the a-hole for canceling my brother's wedding? What are the circumstances that would make you cancel your brother's wedding?
It was raining outside.
There you have it. So,
It's always wanted an outdoor wedding.
Terrific Terror says, I, female 31, have a brother, male 28, who's hoping to get married to his fiance, female 25. They've been in a relationship for a long time, have kids and a house together, so she isn't someone who's new to the family. We're all European, but I own a gorgeous house in Colorado.
Oh, so they rich.
Yeah, she's gotta be. It's in the middle of the mountains, surrounded by forests, has huge windows looking out on my acres surrounding. It truly is stunning and a dream come true. She's 31. Okay, that's like older. You know, you could have a house, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, more women own houses in their 30s than men do.
That makes sense.
Why?
Because men are irresponsible. A couple of months ago, my brother came to me and asked me if they could use my house for a destination wedding. Well, I was hesitant to host a wedding in the house of my dreams. I can absolutely understand how my dream home is her dream venue. I told him they absolutely could, but I had some rules, despite me not living there. Number 1, no more than 25 guests. It truly is in the middle of nowhere, so guests would have to sleep at the house, and I simply do not have room for more. Number 2, nothing that permanently alters anything in or around the house. Number 3, no smoking indoors. Number 4, any damage done by them or their guests would have to be paid for.
This seems reasonable.
Yeah, no smoking, alter the house. Yeah, I feel like that's a fair. The 25 guests thing is a little bit, I would just be like, if you want to have more people, they cannot stay at the house, like point blank period. So that's up to them. If they think that they don't have anywhere to stay, then, you know, they have to make that choice.
How far? I'm guessing an hour. They're an hour away from the nearest hotel.
But even an hour, I feel like that's not too crazy of a drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get to a venue, like for a wedding.
They're
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people
lives
drive.
in Europe, though.
Yeah, if they're European, they're not used to driving an hour.
They're not.
They don't make those kind of drives.
Their closest hotel to them is probably like 30 minutes, and they're like, we're unwilling to drive that far.
Yeah, it's too far. OP continues, since I'm quite protective of the house, I offered to decorate and find a caterer, and that be my gift to them. So I'm providing them with a venue, food, and decorations. I'm certainly almost 10K into my gift because it's my brother's wedding and it's what I wanted to do. 10K? Whoa. You're paying for everything. You're paying for the whole wedding. OP continues, now stuff has hit the fan. His fiance decided she needed at least 45 guests. While I was willing to be flexible by 1 or 2, but 20? Nah. I asked her if she wanted to stack them and she got salty. On top of that, she wants me to pay to fly her family in.
Oh.
She wants you to pay to fly her family in after you put down 10K on her wedding? No, what? I don't even understand the logic there. What is the logic of having her, like, this sister-in-law pay.
Yeah, I was like 45 guests. I'm like, yeah, could you maybe get some say, hey, they can come, but they can't.
Yeah, no, I can see leeway for 45 guests, but
the flight, yeah, you lost me at the flight.
What?
She's the a-hole.
She's 100%
She's
the a-hole.
crazy.
Yeah. On top of that, she wants me to pay to fly her family in because I fronted the money to my other brother. He's paying me back because he couldn't afford a ticket. How is this fiance equating OP loaning her brother, like her blood brother money, to paying for a family she's not remotely related to? Make that make sense?
Also, if bro can't afford a plane ticket, should he be getting married? Other brother? Oh.
Yeah, no. It's the other brother who needed help and then the fiance's family, which is, wild. I told her no, and again, I got sassed. On top of that, she wants me to build a pergola, which I actually considered, paint my living room, cover up the beautiful wood, so F no, and also pay for the drinks. I'm sorry, this isn't like your house. Why is this fiance trying to call all the shots on this house that's being offered to her out of the kindness of OP's heart?
Paint the living room?
Yeah, paint the living room where OP lives.
Their dream house?
Their dream house with the beautiful wood? No.
I would do all this if they gave me like $50K.
That's the thing. If they were like, hey, we would love to help with some renovations to help make this thing, we want to pay for that. Yeah, maybe. If you liked those, of course, but maybe. To ask her to not only change up her house, but also pay for it herself when she's paying for everything else? No. I said, no, I've done enough. She has now taken it upon herself to tell people I'm coming back on my promises, that I left her hanging, that she can't afford the super expensive wedding I made her plan, and even went as far to uninvite my grandparents just to spite me. Her words were,
you wanted me to cut back on guests, so I'm picking your family.
Well, then you're cut out of her house.
You're already doing the right first step by coming to Reddit. The second thing you got to do, I need to make a name for this.
Yeah.
The makeup tutorials. I always mention it.
Oh, yeah.
But just go on TikTok.
Oh, the fiance? Yeah, to fund her wedding.
Not the fiance, OP. So if the fiance starts going to the family saying all this, she needs to go on, OP needs to go on TikTok.
Yeah.
Say this.
Yeah.
Word for word with their makeup, and you'll have millions of people on your side. You'll be fun. What do you even call this? I need a name for this. I don't know. So people in the comments, give me a name for this, because I want this to have a name.
This already is a thing.
It is a thing, but I need a name for it.
Oh, okay. You just want a name for the genre of video.
Yeah, a name for the genre of video, but it's an action. It's like, oh, I'm going to tell everyone that you're a terrible person, but all you got to do is just put your makeup on and tell this, and you got...
Yeah, makeup stories.
Give me a name for it.
OP continues, I'm getting at least 2 messages a day asking me why I'm ruining her day. If I'm jealous? Girl, you're clearly jealous of her. You want to have your wedding at her house.
There's nothing to be... What? She has everything.
She's got a beautiful dream home in Colorado. What do you have? Nothing. Today, she called me to tell me that if I keep going out of my way to make her miserable, I and my rescues, 2 of my children are adopted? What? I'm sorry, what? This woman is insane.
Also, kind of funny.
Horrible. And
the rescues, like next time I have a friend that's adopted, I might call them that.
Don't call them that.
That's horrible. We should not say that about children, but I don't even have adopted friends.
I feel like you can't be saying that,
I could just see it at a comedy club and someone saying I'm a rescue and be like, I'm adopted. That'd be hilarious.
Okay, if an adopted person used that joke, that would be different.
Okay.
But oh my God, I cannot imagine talking to your sister-in-law. So these are your nephews and your future nephews and nieces, and calling them rescues.
That's.
Oh my God.
You're dealing with a woman that has never heard these 2 letters combined together.
I know. They wouldn't be invited either. While I find it absurd that she thinks she can uninvite me from my own house, the fact that she referred to my kids as rescues has me absolutely fuming. I am considering canceling the whole thing, but it would be royally effing over my brother in the process, who has done nothing wrong. So is her Joe overshadowing my need to protect my brother from a giant financial hole? I don't know. Edit to add, I do not live in Colorado. We all live in our home country in Europe. Would I be the a-hole? No. You should cancel that wedding.
And
tell your brother what's going on.
You're not going to be your brother over.
No, you're going to be saving him from a horrible marriage with this horrible woman who calls adopted children rescues and is uninvited your grandparents.
He's dodging a bullet. You're helping him out.
Yeah, cancel that wedding. Cancel it so fast.
How do people like this exist?
I don't understand. And why are they getting married to people? How are they getting married to people? Who's marrying these people?
It's looks. I think one is the looks. They just look really great.
She has to, because her personality is horrible.
Yes.
She has the personality of a wet leaf. It's like not even crunchy. It's just a soggy leaf. But there are some relevant comments. OP, when questioned on the second house repeatedly, OP says, I purchased this house after it had been on the market for close to 2 years. It was in complete disrepair, and I spent a little over a year of my life restoring, not renovating, it to its original glorious state. I have spent a lot of money, love, and time on this house, and had anyone wanted it, it would have been purchased somewhere in the 2 years it was on the market.
Wow.
By that logic, should I no longer buy that last block of cheese at the supermarket because someone else might want it? Not park anywhere because someone else could want to park there? I might move into this home, I might not. Also, happy to see you're getting your cardio and jumping to conclusions. The house is currently being used by a friend who needs to get back on his feet and has been there for 8 months. I work hard for what I have, and if I want to spend it having the home of my dreams just in case I someday want to live there, that's my choice. Sure, she's getting defensive. She's like, I will have my house in Colorado. You cannot take it from me.
Why are people getting mad about that?
I don't know. Maybe they're like, I think it's less, this is the issue. It's more like when landlords buy up a bunch of property and then won't rent it out. And, because that happens a lot where they're just hoarding on to the property until they can sell it or rent it at a higher rate. But that's not really what's happening here. She bought a house that she wants to live in, but it's more like a, second home situation.
Yeah. She spent a year.
She's not renting it out. It doesn't seem like.
Restoring it. Ooh.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like she has plans to rent it out either.
Yo, the verdict is not enough info?
Interesting. I don't know about that. Relevant comments. Armau says, does your brother know that she's behaving this way? Have you spoken to him about this behavior? OP says, I have. Almost everything goes through text message, so I screen grab the outrageous nonsense. He claims the pressure of planning a wedding has gotten to her and that I should try and be patient. Seems like OP's been planning this wedding, quite frankly. OP responds to a long comment on canceling the venue and how large is OP's house and if it could accommodate 25 guests or not. But you're not really canceling a venue if it's your house. You're just canceling flights. OP said, how big is the house that you can accommodate up to 25 guests overnight? It is decently big. The sleeping arrangements wouldn't be luxurious though. Think a combination of sleeping on couches, blow-up mattresses, and sharing beds. Not ideal, but it would have worked for 1 or 2 nights. And then there is an update. Yeah, I feel like OP should have just, if the sister, now I hate the sister and I want this wedding canceled, but to solve that first, 45 people thing, she should have just said, you can't stay in the house overnight. Just said I don't care what you guys do, where you stay, but you can't stay in the house overnight.
I wish that was it. Not while you're at it, can you paint the living room for me?
Yeah, no, fiance added way too many things on and now I hate her. But there's an update. Hey y'all. As an update was requested a decent amount of times, here I am letting you guys know how it all went. First, I do want to address one thing. To those claiming I'm an a-hole because I am contributing to the housing crisis by owning a house I don't live in, I'm not. This is a house so deep in the mountains, I need to drive 50 minutes to go do groceries. The internet is so crappy, I'm waiting for even Starlink to start covering the area, and when it snows, you sure aren't going anywhere. This is not a house built for living in full time. On top of that, it was on the market for close to 2 years and in complete disrepair. I did not steal some family's home. No one wanted it. The fact that it's a dream home is because I spent a year of my life restoring the whole thing myself. Now on to the update. So I heard they were visiting my parents and I drove down as well, mostly because I wanted people present to witness the conversation. Stuff is about to go down. What do you think's gonna happen, Riley?
Fiance's gonna be she's gonna be the victim, of course, and say, oh, this, and this, make it seem like a not a big deal. And then OP's gonna lay it down and be like, no, here are the screenshots. This is what she wanted me to do. She's gonna do all that and then cherry on top. Oh, by the way, she called my kids rescues.
Yeah. She's going to say, oh, and also this happened. What do you guys think of that? And then she's going to cancel the wedding.
Love it. That's exactly what's going to happen.
I told her and my brother that since my home did not suit her needs and it was stressing her out to the point that she was calling my children names, I no longer felt like I was giving them the appropriate gift by supplying a venue, caterer, and decorations. I said that I felt like in my efforts to protect my home, I was limiting their options too much, standing in the way of their dream wedding, and as a result, would no longer be hosting. My brother seemed relieved, admitted to not quite wanting a destination wedding, and that things got a little out of hand during the planning phase, thanked me for my willingness to help, and offered to pay me back for the deposits I'm losing, which I appreciated but declined. His SO, however, accused me of being petty and jealous because I'm single and no one wants me.
Oh my gosh. She's a crab in the bucket.
Yeah, no one's gonna want you after this. And going out of my way to cause her stress and ruin her day. She then pointed at my 2 youngest children, stop, and said, you're doing more for strangers than you are your own family. Why doesn't she quit while she wasn't ahead. Why doesn't she quit while she's, already in the ditch she's dug and not keep digging straight to hell?
What did the kids do? They're just like...
They're literally just there. They're like...
just existing.
What do we do?
And she's like, just mad. And she just
she's like, I hate
them.
your kids. She's like, you won't let me take this house as my venue? Your kids.
That's the last thing you need to say. You don't poke a mama bear.
Yeah, come on. I don't know what. Also, just ignoring the fact that this is obviously a horrible thing to say to children. I can't believe she's saying stranger, or she's calling OP's children strangers when she's effectively the same thing, because she's not blood related and she's also not OP there's no actual connection yet. She's a fiance, so she's not even legally, sister-in-law. So I don't know what I don't know why she's saying, what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why she's saying
she's in the
your
same
own family, because she's not family yet.
She's not.
She's just rude lady who keeps insulting this person's children. I'm done with this. The kids are luckily young enough so they didn't catch on to this, but my older 2 did and were absolutely shocked. So were my parents. I told her she had all of 3 seconds to get out of my line of sight before I would be bringing hellfire down on her while instructing my children to leave the room. My father stepped in, said it would indeed be better for her to leave, and told my brother that he was sorry, but that this is unacceptable. My brother agreed, took his family home, and has since called me to apologize and to say that the wedding planning has been put on hold until she comes to her senses. So thanks for the input and help all. I'm happy it didn't end up all too dramatic.
Yeah.
That was pretty dramatic.
She's a horrible person.
She's a horrible person, and I hope this brother doesn't marry her.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't be saying that stuff about another person's child or children.
Rescues, strangers.
What? Huh? In front of the rest of the family who probably have a very close connection to these children? No. Yeah, I hope he breaks up. I hope he pre-divorces her.
Pre-divorce.
I don't like this woman. That's a fact. Yeah, it's very clear she's not the a-hole.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I was going to say.
Very clear, very clear.
If that wasn't obvious throughout the story, OP, you're not the a-hole. That is your house. You don't owe it to anyone, especially not a rude fiance. And your brother, who doesn't seem like he's really sticking up for you. He seems like he's a lot more sensible than his fiance, but he doesn't seem like he's putting his neck out for you.
Yeah, bro's 28.
Yeah.
Fiance's 25. Young. Shouldn't be acting like this.
Shouldn't be acting like this.
It is kind of crazy that the brother putting up with it.
Yeah.
He has apologized for everything she said and done.
Yeah, but he's not, I don't know. There's only so many times you can apologize for a partner or someone you'd associate to that degree with before it's your fault.
Yeah.
But I want to associate with this next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdad my wedding isn't about him? What do you think, Riley?
Bro just wants to be apart. Let him
He just
have
wants
a piece.
to have his time in the sun.
Yeah.
So my stepdad approached me a few days ago and told me he didn't like the direction my wedding was going in. He's like, you're making a lot of creative choices that I just don't agree with. That he didn't like not being involved as a parent and the living dad figure in my life. And he wanted me to change things so he would enjoy the wedding more. For context, I'm not being given away. We're not doing any big dance besides the first dance between the married couple. And we're not really doing the toasts or anything. We're also not accepting any offers to pay for the wedding or give money toward the wedding. Neither my fiance or I want that kind of wedding. And we've changed a few things, honestly, to work for what we want our wedding to be. Seems like they have a very clear view, clear vision of what they want to do, and
nice and precise.
Yeah. They're like, we don't need anybody's help. We don't want it to be long, drawn out, just quick. We get married, we have a dance, we're out. We're done. My stepdad, who came into my life when I was 12, apparently had this vision of what my wedding would be. Or more specifically, he had this vision of the role he would play in my wedding. He never had any kids, and when he married my mom, I had already lost my dad, so he saw me as his chance at fatherhood. But I see him as my mom's spouse more than I see him as a parent of mine. I totally understand why OP sees it that way, and it's totally fair for her to see it that way, but it does kind of suck for the stepdad.
Yeah.
He's like, I see you as a child of mine, and she's like, you're kind of just that guy that's,
hanging around my
mom.
You're not really my dad.
That's sad. I respect him as a good husband and someone who has tried to be there for me.
Tried? What
do you mean tried? But if his marriage to my mom was over tomorrow, I don't think I would stay in touch with him. This is something we discussed when I was a teenager, and I was honest about where I stood. He was honest about what he wanted. The therapist worked with us both individually and then together with my mom, and it was stated clearly that he was not the dad to me that he wanted to be. He never stopped believing he would get the whole experience, though. I feel really bad for him. He is not owed a father figure kind of status in OP's life, but I do feel bad for him because he just wants it so badly. He just wants a kid.
A daughter.
And he's like, I just want to, walk you down the aisle. Sad.
You still got time, buddy. You can find another family.
Go find a new one. And when he was telling me what he wanted and how he felt, he made it very clear to me that the wedding wasn't what he wanted, wasn't what he enjoyed. He told me I should be considering his wishes more, and I told him my wedding isn't about him, and I will not change my wedding plans to make him happy. Of course, he didn't like hearing that, and he started to tell me again about his feelings, and I reiterated that my wedding is not about him. This led him to become angry and telling me I was being juvenile about it, and him suggesting I was doing this to spite him so he wouldn't get to enjoy my wedding or the dream of fatherhood. Am I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole, but again, I just feel really badly for this guy. I don't think OP's the a-hole. Do you disagree, Riley?
OP, you've never looked at him as a father figure.
Yeah, never since you were 12. I'm trying to find. Okay, I can't actually.
That's. Did he put in effort into the relationship, or was it you always kept your distance because he wasn't your actual dad?
Who was creating the distance?
I have a friend where their dad died very young, and there's a stepdad. He's phenomenal, awesome guy. I freaking love him, but there is that distance of, you're not actually my dad.
Yeah.
I don't see you as that. I'll respect you as my mom's husband. I see both sides.
Yeah.
This is tough though.
Yeah. But I also think he shouldn't, expect that he has a say in the wedding.
He's not owed anything.
He's not owed anything.
His dreams are just going to die.
Yeah. I do kind of want to read some of the comments though.
You want to read some of the comments?
I want to know what other people are saying.
Okay. We can pull those up.
Yeah, thanks. I actually have it open so I can just read it now. So there are some relevant comments. Deleted says, not the a-hole. Wow. Entitled stepfather. Where does he get off telling you how your wedding should revolve around him more? It's not your fault he never had children of his own. This is your day. This is about your commitment to the person you love. Yeah, I get that. And then Comfortable C 2454 says, not the a-hole. Your wedding, your choice. Your job is not to fulfill your stepdad's expectations through your wedding. What is your mom's stance on this? That is also a good point. Does the mom feel like she doesn't have a big enough place in the wedding or a big enough part to play? Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if anyone else is upset with the way that the wedding is going, or if it's just the stepdad, because the stepdad is kind of the, most removed from the situation. Like, he has the least say out of anyone.
He does have the least say. And it seems pretty simple and to the point, so other people may be feeling this way if your mom voices this.
Yeah. Coldstream Capel says, not the a-hole. Tell your mom if she doesn't pull her husband into line, then he can't complain he wasn't invited. I understand why she may want to keep out of this, but if he keeps insisting and trying to force his ideas, something has to give. It's about you and your fiance, not anyone else. Yeah, big time. Yeah, that's very true. I think I agree with those comments. I still think not the a-hole for OP. Still kind of feel bad for the stepdad.
Yeah, that was a shot. It's one chance.
Yeah. I I'm wondering how much he kind of tried to create a relationship with the daughter, or if he just kind of expected that there should be one because he was stepdad.
Intersport practices did you take her to?
Yeah. How many dance recitals did you go to?
How many weekends did you spend doing something fun with her?
How many math problems did you help her solve? Those are the hard-hitting questions we have to know.
But you know what hard-hitting question I have for you? Is there another story?
Yeah. Am I the a-hole for telling the girl my parents adopted, we aren't family, and to leave my parents' home? Whoa.
Get out of here, you rescue.
Horrible. Oh my God. People are really hating on the adopted people in the
Go be
stories today.
unrescued.
So Advanced Web 3202 says, so I have one biological sibling, Jake, 39, who lives in America from my dad's first marriage. And my parents adopted a girl, Ella, 27. Both Ella and I are the same age, 27 female. There's literally 8 months between us, and our bio moms were friends. Ella and I had a good sister relationship growing up, but around 15, she started to be a major stinky lady by pulling the "you're not my parents" /sister card and making life genuinely difficult for everyone. My parents never lied to her about being adopted nor treated bad. Actually, looking back, she got treated better than me, especially in our teenage years.
So
Some favoritism. Yeah.
she was just like being a teenager?
Yeah.
So I don't think she actually was being a biatch.
Yeah, it seems like she was just saying, "You're not my mom." And she was going through a tough time being an adopted child in a family that had other, bio children.
Orphan problems.
So sad. The minute she turned 18, she took her college fund and whatever she could steal, then ran to live with her quote unquote real family.
Oh, so the real family's...
Yeah, still around.
Wait. Why did she get adopted then?
I don't know. They implied the moms were good friends, but I don't know why they adopted. We don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. My parents tried to get in contact with her, but she blocked them and threatened to get police involved when they went to her aunt's house to talk to her. She was always in contact with her bio mom's family, so my parents knew them as very nice people. Okay, so it seems that she lost her mom, but then when she turned 18, she went to her aunt's house. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. 2 months later, on my 18th birthday, she sent me a card with a long letter saying how she hated us.
Had to get this off my chest real quick.
On your birthday, it said, "Happy birthday, you and only stayed till she could get her hands on the money she was owed, and that she wished us the worst in life, especially me, because I didn't deserve to have living parents, and that was the moment I realized she was never my sister." Whoa!
She's
okay.
so hurt.
Before, I was giving her some leeway because that's kind of teenagery stuff to say when you're, also adopted, dealing with some stuff. Now she's off the hook. I mean, not off the hook. She's not off the hook. She's 18. She's old enough to know better. She shouldn't be saying this stuff.
She's still hurt.
I don't know about that.
Okay, whenever a traumatic experience happens to a person, they revert back to the age that it happened to. Don't know what age this happened to this person, but I don't know if they know how to properly get past this, and she resents the family.
Yeah. No, I
in some way,
totally
shape, or
get
form.
why, and
She
I
needs
think
more
it's
therapy.
explainable. I think she should go to therapy. I think it's explainable, but it's not excusable to behave that way. That's what I'm saying.
It's a horrible thing that she did. It's just sad that
It is sad.
she's
yeah.
doing this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, agreed. We lost dad during COVID. Mom tried to get in contact so Ella could say goodbye, but no luck. Then in September, mom passed away due to a brain aneurysm. Oh, I didn't reach out because I didn't give an F about Ella.
Dude.
Oh, 2 parents in the same year.
Oh my gosh.
Ella's aunt and grandmother are still in contact with me, even attended my parents' funerals. I mentioned to them I will be selling my parents' home and moving to America to be closer to Jake and my nieces. Who's Jake?
Brother.
Okay. I'll mention Ella legally got herself emancipated from my parents, even though her bio and my family begged her not to. My parents' home is in London, in a good area. Like if you look out the window long enough, you'll see an important person pass by in a car. Who's important? Like the queen? Well, not the queen anymore. The king?
Perhaps the queen at that time.
Yeah, the queen at that time. So I will make good money from the sale. Ella tried reaching out by email, calls, and third parties. It's obvious she wants money. So I've ignored her, and she turned up at the house today asking about the sale, saying that she, as my sister and my parents' daughter, deserves something out of it. I told her she lost all right when she cut them off. Ella started crying, saying she knows she messed up, but apparently she met a guy in a group for adoptees who twisted her mind against not just her family, but her bio family. She told me she wants to leave him, but she has 2 kids, so she'd need help financially. She also admitted after he forced her to do most things, and at the end, she was ashamed to reach out to us. And with me moving, her window of opportunity is closing. And there's a little bit more to this story, but
If that was the case, you should have reached out
sooner.
way sooner.
Yeah, that's the thing. I totally feel for the sister in this case, if this is true, if she has 2 children that she's trying to support and in not a great situation, but she's cut all of these ties. She's, destroyed all of these relationships, and the only time she's coming back is for money. I would be suspicious. Yeah. I told her I didn't care for her lies and manipulation. I'm not my parents. We aren't family, and to leave my parents' home before I called the police. She said she made a mistake, to please help her because we're sisters, and I just screamed at her to leave me because I didn't have a sister. My brother thinks I should help her, and I acted too cruel towards her because I don't know what it's like to not have both parents growing up. So now I'm rethinking my decision.
I see where the brother's coming from.
I see where he's coming from.
He wasn't there.
No.
He wasn't there. Like, how old is this guy? I think he's 39.
Yeah.
So
he's much older. He
he's
didn't
12
experience
years
that.
older.
Yeah. I think that, again, it is explainable why she's behaving this way, why she's reaching out to them now, and I feel bad for her, but I don't think that OP owes her anything when she's been treated this way for their entire time together, living together. Yeah. And if the brother thinks OP should help, then he should help.
Yeah.
He shouldn't put it on OP when OP clearly has a very tenuous relationship with this adopted sister.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just didn't roll out nice. And my prediction, a lot of times us as humans, we expect the best out of people because that's what we do. Reality, what's probably going to happen. If OP was like, I will give you some money, she's going to take it, abuse it, not use it right, and still go down these patterns. She may have learned. That's us assuming the right thing out of her. I think it was the best decision OP could have done.
Yeah. No, we read another story like a day or so ago about a father who kept coming to his son and asking asking for more money, and the son ended up giving like $30K. And I think it's always a little bit of a risky situation when someone in your family who is financially unstable is asking for money over and over again.
Because they don't have a
without
healthy
promise of, returning it. Yeah.
I feel like that applies with, if a family member was dealing with drugs and they're asking for it and you give it to them. Same thing with money. If they don't have a healthy relationship with money or know how to use it right, you're just
feeding into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can be financially detrimental to you, like it was for that other guy, the story that we read.
Because you're trying to move to America, and America ain't cheap.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. OP's moving, which is one expensive, but also good because it will get you away from this situation. Yeah.
We drive a lot, so you're going to have to get used to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up with all these European stories? This is the second one.
A lot of stories set in London, England. It's crazy. Something's up.
Yeah, I'm about to drive an hour to see someone.
I know. I talked to a lot of Europeans, and they always think that 30 minutes is, I don't know, or like an hour is a long drive, and I'm like, or a drive that they wouldn't make.
Yeah, I heard someone say their grandpa was 45 minutes away from them, and they never see them.
Yeah.
I'm like,
nah.
What are you talking about? I used to drive 45 minutes to school.
I drive regularly 45 minutes to see my parents, like maybe 3 times a month, maybe more, because I also have friends who live in that area. Yeah, actually way more than 3 times a month.
Insane. But we can't comprehend walking around.
Yeah. Oh, I can. I was in Europe. It's nice.
What?
The walkability.
You can walk to the grocery store and back?
Yeah, great.
Crazy.
No, the
can't.
walkability in Europe is great. And if I didn't have to drive everywhere, I would, yeah. And even the public transportation is amazing.
Us as Americans, I don't think we really need to get out and travel the world whenever there's so much beauty in America.
That's fair. I did enjoy my time, but I will say, not to offend any Europeans in the comments right now, LA has better food than everywhere we went to in Europe.
What?
Yeah. I had some really good meals. I will not deny I had some really good meals. I could get the same stuff in LA.
Yo, I will say Bali was pretty phenomenal.
Bali has great food. Yeah.
Because of how cheap it was.
Yeah. The thing is that when we were traveling around Europe, trying to get vegetables was so hard.
Really?
It's so hard. Everywhere, a lot of places, like you go to Italy, you're eating pasta every day, or pizza. You go to anywhere like Poland, you're eating potatoes, or Switzerland, we were eating potatoes, bread, and cheese. Like, we were crying by the end of it, just desperate for a fresh veggie. We go to the store, we would just buy cucumbers. We were dying.
Just to feel something.
Just to feel alive. Sorry. But you guys have way better public transport than us, and
I'd be willing to
cities are
sacrifice
walkable,
that
so.
for food. I'd rather have good food and horrible transportation.
Again, you guys do have good food. I did have good food. I just think that LA has better food. And that's because it's a mecca. It's a mecca of a bunch of different cultures and stuff. And
what else we have better of?
Stories. Woo! Am I the a-hole for continuing no contact after my parents asked for it? If they asked for it.
What's it like, don't you ever talk to me again?
Yeah.
Kind of ask.
And you're like, okay. And now they're coming back to you saying, why aren't you talking to us?
They took it serious.
So, Meow Gold Cat says, and this is an OKOP submitted story.
What?
So we have
What
to
do people
give
do?
really good advice. What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, what were you say?
You go ahead.
So we have to give really good advice
How'd they get the story on here?
by submitting it to r/OKOP show on Reddit.
What?
Yeah.
What if they don't want to write? What else
Well,
could they do?
can call 440-508-6567.
That's crazy. And let's say they don't want to call, they don't want to
even
write,
wanna
but they
do
just
that.
want to hang out. Where do they go?
They can go to our live streams or the Discord.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
There's so many places.
So
you
many
can go.
places to get plugged in.
So many places you can see.
Okay.
But you know what I want to see? This story.
This story.
So, Meow Gold Cat says, my parents' relationship is more of a dictatorship. What type of dictatorship? With my mom controlling everything and my dad letting it happen. Growing up, I struggled socially and academically, often feeling different. My mother treated me as her best friend, therapist, punching bag, pinching me in public when I didn't perform as her mini-me on cue. My mom would talk about anyone to me in private like a private gossip session I was expected to stay quiet about. I was only wanted or needed when my mom was having emotional distress. Examples, fighting with dad, my brothers, etc. To put things bluntly, my feelings never mattered, and I was encouraged to bite my tongue for the sake of family and not causing drama. It seems like they're putting a lot of pressure and kind of adultifying you, which is not okay. I begged for therapy as a 16-year-old and was told it wasn't possible. I was punished for having feelings, and my mom refused family therapy. Oh, that's not good.
So you have a rocket bottle in your chest.
Yeah.
You were forced to just stop.
Yeah, they're not letting you express it in a healthy way. So when I was 23, I walked in on my cousin and my boyfriend of nearly 3 years in my bed with my sex toys, who then disappeared, leaving me with the rent, not with your sex toys. That seems unsanitary.
Wait, what? It was like...
Sorry?
Where's
Where's your cousin come from? Is your cousin live close by?
It was like, Mom, me and my mom don't work out. By the way, side note,
Yeah,
my
side note, my
boyfriend
cousin and my boyfriend hooked up. I'm
with
sorry,
my
that's
sex
awful.
and left you to pay the rent.
Oh my
No.
God. Your family is mean. My mother did the only sensible thing and just over a month later mentioned I needed to reach out to the cousin. I'm never talking to that cousin again. You should never talk to that cousin again.
Why'd you say sensible thing?
Yeah. Over the years, my mom has ambushed me with a FaceTime with that same cousin. One summer day, she tried to have both my cousin and I come over at the same time to ambush me in person. Meanwhile, she forgot she told me 2 months prior that my cousin was coming over that day and yelled at me, "Who told you?"
Here, come here. Look here. Oh, it's a mirror? Yeah, look at that.
You did.
That's who told me.
You did. I'm sorry. So she told OP months in advance that this was happening.
She must have forgot.
And then...
Because she's crazy.
And then OP... What? But I'm confused
Oh,
why
yeah. This is what happened. Mom tells OP 2 months prior, oh, cousin's coming during this week. And then the day they come to ambush her, OP
she doesn't
wasn't
show
there.
up. Oh, because she knew
and
about
she's
it.
like, who told you she was going to come?
You did. Oh, God. She keeps forgetting my birthday and spending my birthday with that same cousin. What is your mom... What kind of relationship does your mom have with this cousin?
Why is the cousin the golden child?
Also, why is she hanging? Like, I don't know. My family's fairly close with, very close with all of our extended family and stuff. But my parents aren't just, hanging out with my cousins on our birthdays. Well, obviously not on our birthdays, but they're also just not like randomly hanging out with our cousins. We're hanging out with our cousins.
This is very strange.
Yeah. I finally got my mom to come to therapy and we got heated. I told her I want a relationship with my my family that I love her, but every time she's upset, I don't want her to just cut me out of the family just because she's mad at me. She promised me she would never do that to me, that she could never exclude me. I told her it happened last time and that her love is conditional, and she assured me it wasn't. She then hugged me, told me she loved me, and then blocked me on everything less than 24 hours later. Your mom is
Oh man,
awful.
she cannot take
What?
criticism.
What? Yeah. It seems like she was criticized in front of the therapist and said all that to save face, and then turned around and punished OP for expressing her feelings.
Criticism is a very hard thing to learn how to handle.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you don't learn how to handle it well.
Yeah. She then started her own narrative and banned me from Christmas. I reached out through my dad, aunt, and brothers and was told to give her space. After Christmas, that same aunt starts guilting me. I received 7-page letter filled with all the lies my mom was saying. I reached out throughout the year to my dad as I was blocked by my mom, but was ignored by my dad. Then I asked if I should leave them alone and leave their life, and received a yes from my dad. So I gave up. The whole saga has been happening for over 2.5 years now. She's been doing strange things to get into my head, but I just don't let her. So am I the a-hole for continuing no contact after my parents asked for it? You're not the a-hole. And I think it is smart to go no contact with your parents because they are, they have it out for you. They are trying to make your life miserable, and you should not let them because they don't deserve that power over you, and they don't seem like good people.
Facts.
Yeah. But thank you for sharing that story. And again, that came from our r/OKOP show. And if you guys have any other stories that you want to get our feedback on, or people in our community's feedback on, head over there.
Good job going to therapy.
Yes.
And even though you didn't get raised properly,
And trying to get your mom to go to therapy too. Like, you did do that.
you got it to a session.
And it's
That's
not your
huge.
fault that she didn't handle it well, and that she can't handle, being, what's the word?
Criticized.
Yeah.
When did you learn to be criticized?
When did I learn to be criticized? I don't know. I don't have a specific time when my parents, are like,
Or just like professionally or with acting?
theater. Yeah. I started doing theater when I was in kindergarten. So that was kind of a space where you had to be criticized, not necessarily in a bad way. Just directing is criticism in a way. So yeah.
I'd say college.
College, really?
Yeah. Well, I was probably criticized beforehand and I
Late
just kind of
life.
shut up and nod in my head, be like, okay.
Yeah.
But when I went to college, the first film or video I made, we had to put it up on a big screen. And the professor said, you're going to be told good things or you're going to be told bad things about your project. Can't say a word about it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He said, well, imagine you submit this video. You aren't going to be able to be there to tell
Yeah.
people, hey, this is the
How you
context
should
behind this
appreciate-
video.
yeah.
I'm not going to be there on every single screen.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
that taught me how to
Take criticism.
take criticism very well. I appreciate that.
No, it's helpful. It's a helpful thing to do, or a thing to know how to do.
It's hard to not take those things personally at first.
Yes. Big time. Yeah. I think there are certain areas of my life where I find it hard to take criticism, but in acting, I've always been fairly good at taking direction because you kind of have to see it from the mindset of you're trying to improve the greater thing, and it's not really about you. It's just improving upon the greater project or the greater play that you're working on.
Yeah, it's a bigger.
Yeah, it's something bigger than you. But you know what's bigger than me?
What's that?
This next story.
Let's go.
Today I effed up by telling my parents I hate my name. Riley, do you hate your name?
No, because it can go both ways. But I do not
What does
like
that
people that
mean?
spell their name wrong. Like it can be a
What?
boy or girl name.
Oh, okay. It's a unisex name. I see
Yep.
what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
But people that spell it not the simple way, I got beef with.
Yeah, 100%. I like my name, but I don't like how common it is because
Really?
Yeah, not in a bad way. I don't care about how many people have it. It's just annoying when I was growing up because there were so many Sophias in all of the classes.
I
Yeah.
only know one other Sophia.
Yeah, so I was always Sophia D or Donner. I didn't feel special.
Sophia D. Donner.
Yeah, I was just one Sophia in a horde, in a brad of Sophias.
Well, you're soap to me, and you're the only soap I know.
So nice. I just recently realized that's what soap meant. I didn't know why you were saying soap on all the Notion things.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, what does this mean?
I gave you a name, and you were like, you didn't know that that's like,
No, I didn't know what you were referring to.
you're soap in my contacts.
This is shocking news. So, Transpotted says, I have a cousin I'm very close with and have been since childhood. She and I are only about 6 months apart in age. She was my first friend. We told each other all our secrets and we're still close. Even though my family had moved away from her family, with the two of us, when we were in middle school. We're in our mid-20s now. One thing we commiserated about was our names. We both had very long, unique names that people constantly misspelled and mispronounced. To add insult to injury, in English, my family immigrated to the US. My name is one letter away from the name of a country I am not from. So people keep reading it as that country and writing it as such, even though the correct pronunciation of my name is different.
I'm going to ChatGPT this.
Okay. Worse still, when I was younger, they kept insisting I am from that country, even after I told them I wasn't. The only nickname I liked from my childhood is unpronounceable to most English speakers, so I couldn't use it. So I settled on a shortened, anglicized version of my name that everyone can pronounce. And outside of doctor's offices and the DMV, my life has been much easier thereafter. My cousin recently gave birth to her first child and gave this child a rather normal sounding name that my parents don't like because aside from it being too common for their liking, they also associate it with a person they're not fans of. Story not relevant. While my dad and I were talking about this name, I mentioned that I know exactly why she named her kid this way. And it's because since childhood, both of us were adamant about giving our kids normal names, quote unquote, so they don't have the same problems that we did. This was news to my dad. Apparently, it never occurred to him that I could dislike my name. He also had a long and unique name, but he loves it and doesn't mind teaching people how to spell it or pronounce it. I know he had put a lot of time and thought into picking out my name, and my mom made sure they settled on a name she could find a cute nickname for. I didn't realize how upsetting it would be for him. I genuinely thought my dad knew I didn't like my name since I complained about it a lot when I was younger. I guess he had thought I had grown out of it. And there is more to this story, but I feel bad.
Yeah.
This is always really hard because when you're a kid, if you have kind of a unique name, especially in America, people don't make the effort to try and pronounce it correctly. And so you always get some sort of nickname.
That is true.
But yeah, and I can't, because I have a very easy to pronounce name, but you shouldn't let anyone else make you feel like your name isn't beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's like a cultural name. But I can't understand having to try and have people pronounce your name correctly.
And probably
yeah, like I understand why he's upset, but also I understand OP's take on this.
America, where we have limited phonics. I'm probably the worst of them all. I try my best to remember people's names. Yeah. I can't remember their names. It's just like dude, when I went on my first date with my girlfriend, did not say her name the whole time because I didn't know if I was going to say it wrong or not.
I do that too, though. If I don't know how to pronounce people's names and I don't want to ask them, they already told me or something, I just kind of don't refer to them at all.
Yeah, because she had two, and I was like, do I say her longer name or her shorter name? And I didn't know. And then I called her on the phone. I was like, what do you want me to call you?
That's so funny. One of my best friends, still my best friend, her name can be pronounced the way it's spelled. It can be pronounced in two different ways. And when I first, became friends with her, I just couldn't remember how to pronounce it. And I actually had another friend email me a voice recording of how to pronounce it so that I could, refer to it.
Wow.
And now, obviously, now we're best friends and I know how to pronounce her name.
Aww.
But this is early days in the friendship of,
you got to get that locked in early.
Yeah.
Or it becomes to a point where you don't know each other's names and you guys just see each other as people.
Yeah. No, I used to be really bad at remembering names. I think I'm a lot better than I tend to claim now. I always, whenever people say, oh, I'm bad at names, sorry if they forget my name, I'm like, oh yeah, me too. But I don't actually think I am bad at names anymore.
I'm good with names. I intentionally try to be good at names.
Yeah. No, I think it's because I intentionally try and do it. And I'm like, hey, what was your name? Sorry, what was your, I try and get that. And I'm like, how do you pronounce that? How do you spell that? If that's relevant. So I really try to be good at names, and I think that's helped, the intentionality of it.
That does help, the mindset that going towards it. Okay.
But I was going to say, I've kind of talked about this before, but when I worked at Starbucks, I always made sure to spell people's name and ask them how to spell their name if I didn't know, which is a very simple thing. It's not, crazy to do, but people always got so excited when I asked, or I would say sometimes, oh, do you spell it this way? And they would just kind of get so excited and they're like, oh, thank you so much for asking. No one ever does that. So people do really care about their names.
Have you read
obviously
Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win an Influence?
No, but Sam has.
Okay. First rule is getting people's names right.
People very much care about you getting their names right. Yeah, it is very important. On my side of things, again, I have a very easy name, but it does annoy me when people say Sophie instead of Sophia.
Ooh.
It's such a small thing. I don't actually, I say annoy, but I'm not, I'm not mad or anything. I do notice it though. If I, say that my name is Sophia and then people after that say Sophie or something, something,
Yeah.
to me, it's a different name. So
Yeah.
I definitely do notice that. And I think that if it can get pretty tiring if you have an even harder to pronounce name and people don't even make the effort.
You have to
especially
explain
friends.
it every
Yeah.
time. Oh.
Yeah, especially if this is someone, you have to explain it, or you've kind of given up with people that are your friend. I think that people should make an effort to pronounce your name. There's this, post that people always refer to about how we can say like Tchaikovsky or all of these other very long names of pianists and stuff.
Some of us can.
Well, some people can say Tchaikovsky and other, long names like that. So we can say names from other cultures and we can put an effort into these names.
Yeah, I'm okay with anyone calling me any name except for one, and you cannot call me that name.
What is it?
It's my brother's name. You call me that? Give me one of them. So many people call me that name. Gosh.
Really?
They're like, hey, Tate, can you do this for me? I'm like, I'm not Tate.
My parents do that to me and Sam. They also called me Ava sometimes. Ava's my dog. Yeah.
Cute.
All right, but let's finish up this story. And I heard him by saying what I did. I was talking to my mom on the phone today, and she told me that my dad told her about our conversation. She said I can change my name if it causes me that much suffering.
Oh.
She sounded hurt, even though she was adamant that she didn't care. I feel terrible because even though it's true, I didn't have to say it to my parents. It's not like it's a horrible name that ruined my life. It was just cumbersome to have. It sounds like a small thing, but my dad is a sensitive person and takes these things personally. They didn't even know that I go by a different version of my name now. I only started using it in college when I moved out. The worst thing is that now the cat's out of the bag and there's nothing I can do to fix it. Sure, it doesn't meaningfully change our relationship and it really's not that serious, but I feel terrible for having burst my parents' bubble because it didn't improve anything, didn't make me feel better, and just made them feel worse. And I can't apologize for not liking my name. I can't pretend to like it. No, I don't think OP is in the wrong for not liking their name because of what they've had to deal with for having the name, but I do really feel bad for the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us your name in the comments. I want to know all of your names.
Tell us your name.
And how to pronounce them if
Yeah.
it's tricky.
Yeah, if we get them wrong, that's why. Yeah,
Like on the
whenever I
live
see you
stream?
guys in the live streams, I always try and make an effort to pronounce them right because it is important to people, and I understand why.
Because it's you.
Yeah, it's your identity. Names are an identity. It's what makes you, there's no one in the world that has your name and has your face and has your voice. It's all comes together. Obviously, there are people in the world that have your name, but
You just wait until they have both your name, face,
yeah,
and soul with the
AI.
AI coming.
it's true.
There'll be so many of you
And then we'll
soon,
just be numbers.
and then it'll be a number. And then by that time, what are you?
Nothing.
Just
Collections
another-
of ones and zeros. But
it's
that's all the
beautiful.
stories we have for today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you guys have better parents than some of the people in these stories.
And if you don't, tell us about it in our subreddit or go to therapy.
Please go to therapy. Either way.
Yeah, we cannot help you that much. We can give you a good laugh, but that's about
That's
it.
about it. Laughter, despite what everyone says, is not maybe the best therapy. Therapy is the best
It's
therapy.
therapeutic, but
Yeah.
you gotta work through shit.
Go to therapy.
Yeah.
But if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
See you tomorrow.